Today, we're diving into this really interesting paradox that's right at the heart of modern leadership. It's all about how you combine something that's deeply human with something that's purely technical. On one side, you've got what we call spiritual intelligence, or SQ. Think of that as your compass. And on the other, you've got artificial intelligence, AI, which is the accelerator. Let's get into how this combo is really set to define the future of leadership.
This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the central challenge, what we're calling the executive paradox. AI is pushing us to make decisions at lightning speed, right? But at the exact same time, trust in leadership is kind of eroding. So the big question on everyone's mind is, where are we even going with all this speed?
So I'll ask you directly, as the machines get faster and faster, what's guiding you? What's your true north? This is exactly why we need to talk about SQ. It provides that ethical, purposeful guidance that a tool like AI, well, it just can't. It gives you the direction for all that speed. Okay, so let's make sure we're all on the same page. We need to break down what we mean by the compass and the accelerator, and not in some abstract philosophical way, but in really practical terms that actually work for the boardroom. It's a simple metaphor, but it's incredibly powerful. Think of spiritual intelligence, SQ, as your organization's true north. It's the compass, providing the why, the ethical, value-driven direction. And then on the other side, you've got AI, the accelerator. That's the engine. It's getting you the raw speed, the scale, and the predictive power to get where you're going way faster. Now, let's be really clear here. When we say spiritual, we are not talking about personal faith or religion. In this context, it's all about professional, applied wisdom. SQ is the tool that takes your company's values off of some poster on the wall and actually puts them into action when you're making critical decisions. It's that practical application of insight that makes it completely boardroom ready.
And here's the crucial point. You can't just pick one. Success in this new era absolutely requires both. They have to work together, which brings us to what we're calling the leadership equation. So here's how it all breaks down. SQ bring the ethical framework to the table. The core human stuff, like compassion, integrity, and responsibility. AI brings the raw technical power, the speed, the scale, the prediction. But when you put them together, that's when you get leadership that isn't just fast, it's purposeful. It's not just powerful, it's ethical. And that combination, that's what makes it truly competitive.
This really illustrates the dependency perfectly. A powerful AI without a mortal compass is just blind acceleration. It can optimize for a goal, no problem, but it has no clue if that goal is the right one. And on the flip side, having strong values without the tools to implement them at scale, well, you risk being too slow or just symbolic. They absolutely need each other to work.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But why should a busy executive actually care? Let's talk about the bottom line. Let's turn these abstract ideas into tangible, real-world advantages that actually drive performance.
All right, first up, risk management. Your SOQ is what guides you to build fairness and mitigate bias in your systems right from the start. Meanwhile, AI acts like a super powerful scanner, rapidly detecting ethical risks that you might have otherwise completely missed. Second is culture alignment. AI tools are amazing at surfacing the gaps between what your company says its values are and how people are actually behaving. But here's the thing, data alone does nothing. It's the SQ in leadership that gives you the integrity to actually act on those insights and close those gaps. And third, a big one, talent retention. Your top talent, they don't just want a paycheck. They want to work for an organization they genuinely trust. And that trust, it's a direct result of leadership's SQ. It's the secret sauce that makes your best people want to stay. So let's be absolutely clear. Better risk management, a more authentic culture, and higher talent retention, this isn't some feel-good philosophy. These are direct, measurable drivers of business performance, period. So if you're on board with this, the next logical question is, how do you actually start? Well, you need a roadmap. And just as importantly, you need to know about the common traps to avoid along the way. Here's a pretty clear 4-phase framework. First, you've got to get buy-in, and you do that by framing SQ as a real competitive advantage, tying it directly to performance. Second, establish guardrails. Form a cross-functional task force to define your ethical purpose before you deploy the tech. Third, integration. You deploy AI as a growth aid. Think tools for wellness or inclusion, never, ever for surveillance.
And finally, you monitor and audit. You use AI to track your ethical performance and close that loop. But as you follow that roadmap, you have got to be aware of these three major traps. First is the measurement trap. That's trying to reduce something complex like wisdom or compassion down to a simple KPI. It just doesn't work. Second, the purpose trap. This happens when you let the AI optimize a goal so much that you forget that humans are the ones who are supposed to set that goal in the first place. And third, the critical trust trap. Using data in a way that violates privacy. You fall into any one of these and the whole initiative can just collapse. Now, let's zoom out for a second. We've focused a lot on SQ and AI, and for good reason, but they're actually part of a much bigger picture. It's time to assemble the complete leadership compass. And here it is. This is the complete picture, the 4 intelligences compass for the age of AI. You need your IQ for analytical clarity. You need your EQ for human connection and empathy. You need your SQ for purpose and that ethical grounding we've been talking about. And finally, you need AI for speed and acceleration. Each one of these plays a unique and absolutely indispensable role. Because the true power, really the future of effective leadership, it isn't about picking one of these over the others. It's about integrating and aligning all 4 of them. It's about guiding your organization with clarity, with connection, with purpose, and with speed. That's the goal.
So we'll end with this question, something for you to really think about. As the world just keeps getting faster and AI accelerates every single decision you make, what are you going to do? Are you going to use that incredible new speed as a chance to deepen your own moral compass and apply your wisdom? Or will you be tempted to just outsource it? The leaders who are going to thrive in the future will be the ones who choose the former.